Katherine Renee Lindenmuth. Let's add her in right away, see if we're able to get this conversation going.
Hi, guys.
Hey, Kat, how's it going?
Good. How are you? Sorry, I was working out. I was like, oh, yeah.
I figured you lost track of time. Well,
I
gotta
did.
ask you, how was
Egypt was beautiful. Um, it's an experience. It just got hostile there at the end.
well, let's take some steps back. Looked like I was messaging you and you said I'm heading out at 11:30. I didn't realize that was 11:30, middle of the night, catching a red eye for the first leg of your flight. So from here, it looked like you went and stood the night in the Atlanta airport.
No, it was 11:30 in the morning. We flew out to Atlanta and then waited till I think it was 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock to fly out. We flew out from Atlanta to Paris. And Paris, we left Paris at 8 p.m. Paris time. So we flew all the way overnight to Cairo.
What was that like? How'd you feel after such a long journey?
It was fine. I like traveling. I don't mind the plane. There wasn't a lot of turbulence. I was excited to get there. It's always hard when you're flying out for a fight. You can't just eat all of the fun food they have on the plane. And luckily, there's a lot of health conscious food that gets served, so it wasn't too bad. But no, it was great. Like it was the flight home that was longer because that was a 9 hour flight to Cairo, and it was 14 hours back when we came back.
How did you feel when you landed in Cairo? How was the couple look like hours of acclimation and getting ready for weigh-ins?
Honestly, they tried everything to throw me off. It was beautiful. There's lots to do. When we got there, we had 6 hours until weigh-ins. So I got myself ready for weigh-ins, did the weigh-ins, and then they hustled me off to the pyramids. And we rode a camel the day of weigh-ins and got to see the Sphinx and the pyramids. And the next day, tried to hustle me off to um, the Civilization Museum where all the mummies are, King Tut, all those exhibits are super amazing, beautiful. But you guys know me, I'm pretty chill. I keep everything pretty level. I allowed myself enough rest to get the job done that night.
Were you able to take in that scenery, or were you more concentrated at that point like I'm kind of tired here. I just traveled and I just sweated a whole bunch. This is a little weird.
Honestly, I thought I was gonna be more tired, but Egypt is such like a passion travel for me. It's like my bucket list, and that's my dream trip, and I got to actually go and do it. So I was just in awe, honestly, just to be there and know that those steps our camel was on were steps that people traveled, you know, that's a real historical site. It just made me feel in awe. It was amazing.
Weigh-ins happen. Did you read anything into the face-off? What was it like? That stare down.
You know what? We really didn't read anything into it. I did the same thing I usually do. I'm calm. I have a good stare down. You guys know I got the rock eyebrow. I think I've found a little mastery on my face off. I don't feel intimidated. It doesn't make me laugh anymore because it's kind of silly staring at somebody for a couple minutes. They make it kind of weird a little bit sometimes, but I didn't really read anything into it. I just knew that there was no nerves yet.
You're all the way around the world. It's you and coach. Did anybody else go with you? It's just you and Coach Rosales.
Nope, it was just me and Coach. He had a Kajakimbo gym out in Egypt, where a grandmaster from that gym helped corner us, but we flew ourselves. We weren't able to take our third.
What was fight day like? Was that normal preparation? You're in a different country. I'm guessing it can't be normal preparation.
Well, it was it felt normal other than they whisked me off to the Civilization Museum, and I had about 4 hours of relaxation time till we left to go for the fight. But honestly, I did the same thing. I tuned out into my music. I laid calm. I stayed very calm, cool, and collected for the entire time. I was in that prep moment. And up until the when we got to the venue and we're ready to fight, you guys know we posted a video. I was dancing because like I just have to be loose, of all the crazy things that transpired, right before the fight and then afterwards. I was just Cat. Like that's all I can say is that I did Cat, and Cat came out on top and the entire world saw it. No matter what, the entire
So,
world saw everything.
where was the first like weird incident? Like when did the weirdness start happening? Was it on the way to the venue? Is it at the venue? Is it when you're warming up? Like when does this thing start off?
Honestly, there was a couple off things from before we got there. There was a couple things, off here and there, but to be honest, I felt like it, of all the off things, it just seemed like, they're trying to throw me off. They're trying to throw me off, like little off and inconsistencies here and there. They had me warming up in a men's bathroom. Um, and people were using that restroom while we were warming up. So it was very interesting. But up until the end of the fight, it really didn't get to the point where we were worried about anything. It just felt like, oh, they try to throw you off. I've been through this before, fighting, being a road warrior. They do this. This is normal. Like we don't expect anything less. You're the challenger. Um, you know, they kind of want to get you off guard at some point.
And I just want to make sure I got this right. You're up two weight classes for this fight?
Three. We was a super flyweight title. They changed it last minute. So that was part of one of the things is that we caught it from BoxRec that it was a super flyweight belt, and they had promised a flyweight belt, and they stated that they had just found out that it had been changed, but the email that they had sent me was dated like 10 days prior. So it's not something they had just found out. It was something they were trying to kind of conceal until I got there. But if you guys know me, I'm an analyst. I analyze everything. I'm like the biggest. I love to. It's like the mama FBI agent. Um, I'm always looking into things, and it's something that I had discovered and reached out about. So it was 3 weight classes up, and I mean, you guys tell me you watched that fight. You tell me how I did a good job. I think I did great.
Well, forget how you did. I didn't think they were going to score it for you. I was already going off earlier on the stream talking about boxing scoring to the audience, how a split decision means you convincingly won a unanimous decision on the road because you already know one judge is at
Yeah,
least going to screw you anytime you're the road fighter.
right, exactly.
So, what was the fight
Um,
like from your perspective?
Honestly, it was I listened. Like honestly, that's the one thing we always say. I listened to Professor. I did some listening. We did things we did in our camp. I know, I was so proud of myself. Obviously, first 2 rounds, I'm always slow to warm up, but after that, it's just beautiful how you can see things that you've been practicing. The fight I felt like went well. I had like tons of energy, like normal. We practice at such a high elevation here. It's like 200 feet over there. Like it's like 10,000 here. Our elevation is on point, and that's where my lungs and my endurance come in. I had so much gas for this fight. I could have gone more rounds. I was excited to get through what I did. You guys know me. I could just keep on going. You guys know also same part as Cat. I don't sit. I do not sit in the breaks of my fights. Um, I don't feel like that helps me. We get, we drink a little water. He talks me through some stuff, and I don't sit. I lean against the pad, and then I get back moving, and I hear the music, and I move. That's cat style. And if anybody's ever seen me fight, every single fight, it's the same thing.
Did the size, did you feel it? Could you feel it in her punches? Did that size matter? I know that in sparring around town, you've sparred girls that are up weight classes. So was there any difference the live fight against one up to several weight classes?
To be honest, it really wasn't with her. The power wasn't there. Um, it was more of the holding, how much she was holding me, how much she was putting so much pressure on my body. It's hard, but we trained for it. So that's why I said, I basically, did what I trained for. And I trained to evade those holds, to move within it, to not allow her to get me cheap rabbit punches within the clinch, because she's really known for doing those rabbit punches within the clinch to try and get extra points, and kind of prove her aggression. But it just didn't turn into aggression. She just started launching forward with her head, in which I got that little nick there because she kept headbutting me coming in, to rush me at the last couple rounds.
Your speed, your cardio advantage, both of them were on display. It wasn't just the hand speed, it was the foot speed. A well earned decision victory. You get the title. You're way outside of your weight class. It's all the way around the world. What was that moment like? Because that moment, we can still pull it up on YouTube. It's there.
Right. And honestly, the moment they said, from America, I was in tears. It's like that culmination. Like, I worked so hard. I put all of my energy and effort into this fight, this training, my training camp. Like I said, I had told everyone this training camp was on point. We were very focused and dialed in. And the fact that I was able to, I did it. You go into the lion's den and you did it. And I felt, like I had been saying, I faced my Goliath and he fell. Like, you know what I mean? I just was so proud that I had done it, and I was just happy to be standing there with my team. Like, I'm missing some people in my team, but like I was there with Professor, and we've been through so much. We've been through so much road warrior stuff, some hard, defeats on the road as well, some good wins, and this was a good win for us. Despite.
When does that feeling go away and the ish really starts to hit the weird fan?
Honestly, I could even say that I still have that feeling because I know that I didn't do anything wrong. I know that I'm definitely not I don't use any substances. I'm a clean fighter. I just work really hard. I have like really good cardio. I stay in very good shape. I'm in the best shape I've ever been in my life. That feeling is still there. I'm like, I cannot believe I did that. Like, you can't take that away from me, is because I went up 3 weight classes and decisively beat you. And it was amazing to feel that, and feel the support from everyone around me. And when the ish hits the fan, just the support that comes back to me, because it's amazing that there are so many people that may not know you, but they know you, and they know that that's not what they're stating is not you. And honestly, it started getting crazy the moment they announced my title. It started getting a little heated. That it was very very hostile environment. Something I've never had to experience before. And I can tell you right now, I want to advocate against any fighter, any boxer, any MMA fighter to feel that kind of hostility is uncalled for. This is a sport and competition, and it was very eye-opening and frustrating to see. And I'm definitely, anyone that's been through it, you got an advocate ready to stand up for, not ever having to be in that position. You should feel protected.
When you say animosity, who who was that coming from? Like, who are these feelings of aggression, anger? Like, who is that coming from? Is this from the crowd? Are we talking about the promoter, the opposing corner? Where's this coming from?
Well, the promoter was the opposing corner. The promoter is was at her first her and also her husband. So there's a lot of bias there, but you know, it it just they were not agreeing with the cards, so they rushed the score table. They were not agreeing with anything that happened, so they were very upset. He had rushed to the scorecards, the table, to check the cards before they gave off the announcement, and I think he thought he saw that she won. So when they announced that I won, they rushed the table and it started getting very hostile. We were trying to take pictures in the ring and we were actually rushed out of the ring. You can see it on camera. Basically in that fight right at the end. Like, it was kind of odd. There was no interview, there was nothing else after that. They stayed in the ring and really argued everything. And, things happened from there. And, we're just, so there's a lot of frustration there with that.
And at some point, and then there's an accusation. So we're talking about the scorecards were wrong, or they felt they were incorrectly tabulated or read. And then when that doesn't work out, they change it to talking about a possible substance or something else.
So when we were ushered out, we actually went into the corner where she was. I was never approached by the sanctioning body. I was never approached by the promoter, the doctor. I was never checked out. Nobody came to my area. I was there for 15 minutes, sitting in a chair until the crowd and some of the I think they were part of the team that was doing the venue. We were ushered out that we needed to leave because it was crazy. It started getting very heated, very hostile. So we were ushered out. So I never actually received a doping test. They never gave me one. So, the fact that the accusations was, I did hear somewhere, because a lot of it's loose translation, that there was a positive test. There wasn't a test even taken. They never approached me, not even the next 24, 48 hours after I was in the hotel. We went straight to the hotel. There's a lot more things that we're going to be releasing about that, but there was no test taken. So in lieu of that, we already set up, because we want to make sure that my test is secure, nothing is tampered with. We set up a test immediately landing within the US to get that test done. So when I landed in Albuquerque, I took a UFC level in competition doping test, and we've already submitted it. And we've done our due diligence. I don't dope, and I have no problem testing it, doing a hair follicle test, whatever it takes. I won that fair and square, and it's really sad that they're trying to take that from me. And I've also, written and reached out to the WBA because of a lot of the items that did happen as well during, prior, during, and after the event.
So who are you in contact with currently in hopes of sorting this situation out to the truth?
We've reached out to the WBA directly. So we've just reached out to the head of the WBA,
So
and yeah, I've sent the emails, I've sent all of the proof that we needed to send, and we're just waiting. Obviously it does take some time to get responses. We don't know what's going to happen. They do have rules on trying to if you're trying to overturn something, but the thing is that they're saying that the EPBA, which is not a actual acronym for anything over in Egypt, it's the Egyptian Athletic Commission. That it's not. There's no EPBA, which I think is funny because that's what's on BoxRec. But the commission, they're saying that they had an investigation and that they are ruling it a non-contest. It wasn't ruled a non-contest by WBA. So we are bringing everything to light, because I do believe that light, will expose darkness, and the things that were the things that were wrong will be exposed, because I went out there, I did my thing, I did not take any substances. I did not get a doping test when I was there, but I did make sure I immediately got one like upon returning to protect the validity of my test because for fear of tampering. And we're just gonna let the truth shine because we know what it is. Um, I've gotten a lot of support from everyone, and everyone else knows what it is. So we're just gonna keep fighting, Shang. I'm not rolling over on this one. Um, we went out there, we won a title. I'm a title holder. I'm a dual title holder. I'm a title holder in two weight classes. So I'm not letting that go.
I heard a press conference. We might have a press conference. Are there plans for a press conference?
Yeah, we're trying to do that. It's either going to be a press conference or a press release, but there will be something released very, very soon because we want to make sure to have everything together for everyone about everything that transpired. Like I said, very transparent, everything out in the open. I have nothing to hide. So, um, what's going to be, what happened is going to be seen. You guys know me. I'm extremely transparent with everything. I'm an advocate for those who aren't, that have nobody advocating for them. I'm a big person on women's sports, and I feel like this was a very big bullying situation. This is, and these things are very upsetting because they could have happened to somebody who doesn't have the ability to do this, to ability to advocate. And I'm glad, I feel like everything gets put in your plate for a reason, and this is what we're using.
This is one of those horror stories you hear about the fight business. One of those stories of how boxing isn't able to progress forward due to situations, promoters, promotions that could let something like this transpire with so many questions left. How can you be professional? It's unfortunate that best performance of your career, taken out number one in the world, has this kind of cloud that you have to fight for the win a second time.
Right. And that's exactly right. Like this is a horror story, and you know, unless you have people that stand up against this, you're not going to have change. I think if you want to be the best, you got to fight the best. And she reached out to me. She reached out to me to fight her on this card. Um I'm a true believer that she reached out to me because I am 3 weight classes lower. And there was an idea thinking that it was going to be an easy rollover fight, that it was be good because I'm a good fighter, but it was going to be a lot different. And they didn't know who they sent out there. So unfortunately, they sent out a true fighter. Lots of grit. I don't back down. I don't quit. There is no quit on me. And everyone knows that. So we are fighting this to as much as we can. We just ask for everyone that supports to continue to share, continue to advocate, continue to speak out, because the more we speak for this, the more that the ones that don't have a voice feel like they have one, because this happens more than is shown, the more than hits social media. The time for buying fights should be over. The time for thinking people will just roll over by being bullied, this is over. Like, we need to stand up for difference.
Well said. Well said. Big fight coming up now, obviously, ahead of you, battling this promotion. Great. Congratulations still on the victory. I don't know how to end it
Thank
on the high
you.
note. That's what I want to do here.
Well, and you know what, we brought home that belt. That is
Katherine
my belt.
Lindenmuth. I was going to say thank you for the time tonight, because I'm sure Coach Rosales wants you to get back to practice soon.
I am back at
We're going to have
practice. You
more
guys
on
know
this
me.
story as it develops.